Hello and welcome once again to First Player Marker. I'm Neil and to my left is Ruth.
Banana!
And today we are going to run through the rules and then a short play of Reiner Knizia's Callisto. This game plays up to 4 players and has got a clever setup mechanism where you can change the background and play accordingly, which I'll explain in the rules shortly. Callisto is a game for 2 to 4 players designed by Reiner Knizia. In this game, you are aiming to place all of your polyomino pieces onto the board legitimately, while simultaneously blocking the pieces of your opponent. The game is designed so that it can be played equally by 2, 3 or 4 players. In front of you, you can see the setup for 3 players. There are also boards that can be used for 2 players and a board for 4 players. As you can see, the amount of white on those boards varies with the number of players. The rules are simple. In your first couple of turns, you will place a column. You will then place your polyomino pieces next to those columns, and the rules are simple. In your first 2 turns, you will place a column. Your opponents will do the same, until each player has placed their first 2 columns on the board. The columns must be placed in the white playing area. As far as 3 players is concerned, you must never place anything in the blue sections. But once the columns have been played, you can start to play through the purple section in the middle. You add your pieces such that they are continuously in contact with either a column or another piece of the same colour. Your opponent will start to do the same. Over time, you will start to block one another and force your opponents to play differently. It is possible to get completely blocked in by your opponent's play. To mitigate this, you have a third column which you can choose to use if you need to. This can be placed anywhere and does not need to be touching any previous colour that you've played. Eventually, either you'll be unable to play any of your pieces or you'll play them all. And at that point, the game finishes. You calculate the number of raised bumps on your pieces, and that is your score, which is carried through to future rounds of the game. At the end of the number of rounds you've chosen to play, the player with the lowest score wins. And that is how you play Callisto. So, as you can see, we've zoomed in on the board for you as we play through. I'm playing red, Ruth is playing purple. We have the 2-player setup, which means that we cannot use the blue sections around the edges. We're not allowed to encroach into those. Also, for the first 2 plays, when we put our columns on the board, we cannot play anything into the purple. Youngest player goes first, which I think that's you. So, Ruth, if you would like to place your first column. Or right on the edge. Well, I'm going to do pretty much the same, actually, on the opposite side. And I'm going to put my red one here. Oops,
You're basically copying.
Oh, I am. I didn't notice you'd done that. Oh, well. We do have a third column, which we could use now, but is kind of there for an emergency escape if we need it. Okay.
Attacking me. I play this fair, you know. Unlike Mr. Joel. Well, not so fair. I'm just trying to spread out, you know.
No, but you have to attack, don't you, a little bit. You moved my column. You're not allowed to do that. You can do that though, yes. I need to bust out of that, so I'm going to do that. Oh, you just blocked what I was going to do. So I'm going to play this here. Actually, I think I'll do that.
You're a meanie, just like.
You can't play that there.
You gonna block me?
I don't know at the moment, actually. I don't know. I will. I think I'd rather play that there. Oh, you have cut me off. Darn you. Oh well. We'll make use of the space I've got while I've got it. Ooh, nice placement.
Just saying the purple may look blue because of the lighting.
Okay, Ruth. A little bit annoyed.
My life intention is to make you annoyed.
I've noticed that. Okay, this one.
There is only a couple of places. Got it.
Nice placement actually, because that was quite a tricky place to leave that until late. Be mindful.
I'm looking at there.
Yeah, you left yourself with somewhere where you can't place that in any circumstance, actually, Ruth. You actually cannot place that anywhere.
I'm lost. I can't.
You've lost that.
I lost the game.
You have probably lost the game, but let's see what happens.
This is way too small, boy.
It's not too small. It's just tight.
I'm just gonna place that.
That's a blocking move. Never mind, I can get my way around it. Should be able to place most of mine.
I don't like little holes, and I'm going to be left with quite a few.
Yeah, I should be able to place all of mine. Sorry, Ruth. You evil blocker. Never mind. You stuck with that. You stuck with that as well. And I can get rid of my last piece. So, at the end of that, what would actually be a single round of the game, I didn't use my column, but that doesn't count against me. And Ruth, how many nobbles have you got, if you count them all up?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
8. So that would be a score of 8.
I'm not going to say a word. Just shut your mouth.
That was a single round playthrough. Ruth's score of 8 would go forward to the next round that you play, because you can see it's quite a quick game. And hopefully on the next round she would end up with less pieces she can't place. And I would end up with some. I'm going to snot on you. So, if you can get hold of...
If you want me, I'll be crying.
If you can get hold of the plastic version of Callisto, I do recommend it. It's got lovely tactile pieces. But you can easily get hold of a cardboard version of it, which is in a much smaller box.
Why?
It's a great, quick game. It's really good for younger kids. You've been playing this for about 3 years, haven't you?
I don't care what you say.
Haven't got very good at it yet, though.
I am good! I won the last round! I win the last round!
I did. When we played it with Joel, we both ended up with no points carried over, and Joel made a right fist of everything. All that remains to be said now is click subscribe, click the like button on the video. Let us know in the comments about anything further you'd like to see. There will be a 2-player playthrough at some point of Pokemon.
Do it, or else
Ruth's had a few
I shall
ideas.
never come back on this show.
What, unless we do Pokemon, me and Joel?
No, unless they don't. Unless they should.
Yeah, mate.
Subscribe and hit the like button. Thumbs up.
And click the bell for notifications when new stuff comes up.
Ding, ding,
Few things
ding,
that we've talked
ding.
about that we might do in the future is a playthrough of Karuba, another great family game. Ruth has also suggested a playthrough of Catan. That will both definitely be heavily edited because 45 plus minutes would be far too dull. So thank you very much for watching and see you next time.